Welcome back to Track and Field by
Chicolata.
By Chicolata.
Where we give you news, views, reviews, and interviews. Today we review some of the fails in long distance running and see if we can learn a thing or two. Long distance running or endurance running is a form of continuous running over distances of at least 3 kilometers. Psychologically, it's largely aerobic in nature and requires stamina as well as mental strength. Within endurance running comes two different types of respiration. This occurs when oxygen is present and the body is able to utilize oxygen to help generate energy and muscle activity. On the other hand, anaerobic respiration occurs when the body is deprived of oxygen, and this is common towards the final stretch of the races where there's a drive to speed up to a greater intensity. Overall, both types of respiration are used by endurance runners quite often, but are very different from each other. In this video, we check out some of the clips as to why these athletes were unable to finish their races, considering they were just meters away from the finish line. Sometimes the body just gives in, like Yvonne Hetich in this clip, Kenyan marathoner in this particular race which took place in Texas. She was leading the women's race for 23 miles, but her body broke down in the final stretch. When volunteers offered her a wheelchair, she refused and crossed towards the finish line on her fours crawling. She came in third, a time of 3 hours and 4 minutes, but was still offered money as if she was in second place. And this is what she had to say about the race.
For the last 2 kilometers, I don't remember.
Joshua Cheptegei is an Olympic champion from Uganda, also staggered in the 21 kilometers towards the finish line back in 2017 at the World Cross Country that were held in his home country in Kampala, Uganda. In the 10-kilometer road race that took place in Nigeria back in 2019, where his body shut down 50 meters towards the finish line and was assisted by another Kenyan by the name Simon Cheprot. And for this small gesture, Cheprot was awarded 1 million Kenyan shillings for helping Kenneth Kipkemoi. In this case, Lettersen Gidey of Ethopia was obviously exhausted, but instead of focusing all her energy in the final push to the line, she kept her opponent at bay. Meanwhile, the pressure by opponent, like with Gidey, she was looking over her shoulder, and Chebet had nothing but turbo on her feet. Gidey had used all her energy. She was running on fumes, and by the time Chebet passed her, that was it for Gidey. The gas tanks were totally empty. Other key factors that led not only her, but any marathoner or cross-country athletes to behave in this manner towards the finish line could be 1. Running yourself to exhaustion, lack of enough water intake that causes dehydration, even though these athletes take enough water en route to replace the fluid lost through sweat, but can't fully replace it simply because of the time it takes to get water through the digestive system into the bloodstream. Another reason could be condition in your body or condition of your body. Also, maybe you could be having an injury. Heat exhaustion, depending on the sun that particular day. Physical exhaustion, pushing your body beyond its limits. This can lead also to lack of energy, motivation, and also loss of focus. But this is no warrant to the hospital, because after this, the athletes are given water, glucose, and some carbohydrates, and they get back to their normal self. These athletes are chosen to represent their countries since they are the best in their respective countries, and for this to happen is just normal, especially with marathoners, and it's not as a result of poor training, as I heard and read from people's comments. That's all, folks. Don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.